Assalamualaikum to one and all. For today's episode, we analyze two unequal mass blocks attached to either end of a light rope that passes over a light frictionless pulley suspended from the ceiling. We compute the work done by the tension force on each of the blocks, while the heavier block has moved a certain vertical distance. And also, we compute the corresponding change in the gravitational potential energy of the two-block system. So join me till the end of this video. Just watch and learn. Question number 1. A 1.0 kilogram stone and a 10.0 kilogram stone are released from rest at the same height above the ground. Ignore air resistance. Which of these statements about the stones are true? Justify each answer. Option letter A. Both have the same initial gravitational potential energy. Option letter B. Both will have the same acceleration as they fall. Option letter C. Both will have the same speed when they reach the ground. And option letter D. They will have the same kinetic energy when they reach the ground. And the correct answers are option letter B and option letter C. For option letter A, both stones have the same initial gravitational potential energy. This statement is incorrect because gravitational potential energy is equal to the product of the mass, acceleration due to gravity, and the height h, where the height h is the distance relative to a chosen level or point of reference, such as the ground. So at constant acceleration and height h, we say that the gravitational potential energy is directly proportional to the mass of a body, right? So since the two stones are dropped from the same vertical height h, the gravitational potential energy of the 10 kilogram stone must be greater than the gravitational potential energy of the 1 kilogram stone. Option letter B is considered correct, all right? Since air resistance or friction is negligible, we say that the acceleration due to gravity must be constant, all right? And also that follows that the acceleration of the two stones must be the same. Option letter C, all right? The speed upon impact or just before hitting the ground for the two stones, okay, is considered correct, right? I mean, the statement in letter C is considered correct because we know that the final speed or the speed before impact is directly proportional to the square root of the kinetic energy, right? And based on the energy conservation law, the kinetic energy maximum is just equal to the potential energy maximum. That means At the initial position or height, uh, the gravitational potential energy must be equal to the kinetic energy of a body just before it hits the ground. All right? So, when the two forms of energy are equated, Ka max equal to P max, the mass m gets cancelled. So we are only left with GH equated to 1 half V squared, or upon isolating the speed V, we get the speed B being equal to the square root of 2GH. So it's obvious that the speed upon impact does not depend on the mass, all right? Rather, it depends on the height h from where the body is dropped, all right? Therefore, this final speed is equal for the two stones, the 10 kilogram and the 1 kilogram stone. And lastly, for option letter D, we say that uh, the kinetic energy of the two stones, okay, the kinetic energy is not the same. So that makes statement or option D incorrect. All right. Again, using the concept of the energy conservation law, Ke max equal to Pe max, where Pe max, of course, is NGH, right? So we say that the kinetic energy of the 10 kilogram stone must be greater than the kinetic energy of the 1 kilogram stone, all right? The fact that they have different masses, all right? And G as well as the height H are constant because the two stones are dropped from the same height. So it's only the mass, all right, that determines the kinetic energy, which supports our conclusion that the kinetic energy of the 10 kilogram stone must be greater than the kinetic energy of the 1 kilogram stone. Question number 2. Two blocks are attached to either end of a light rope that passes over a light frictionless pulley suspended from the ceiling. One block has mass 8.00 kilogram and the other has mass 6.00 kilogram. Two blocks are released from rest. Question letter A. For a 0.200 meter downward displacement of the 8.00 kilogram block, what is the change in the gravitational potential energy associated with each block? Question letter B. If the tension in the rope is capital T, how much work is done on each block by the rope? Question letter C. Apply energy conservation to the system that includes both blocks. During the 0.200 meter downward displacement, what is the total work done on the system by the tension in the rope? What is the change in gravitational potential energy associated with the system? Use energy conservation to find the speed of the 8.00 kilogram block after it has descended 0.200 meter. Moving on now to our solution, we first identify the given data. So we have the mass of the bigger block, M1, equal to 8.00 kilogram, all right? While the smaller block has a mass M2 equal to 6.00 kilogram. All right, initially, both blocks have zero V naught or initial speed, all right? So when they are released from rest, the bigger block is displaced downwards, all right, a distance 0.200 meters. But since we choose the initial position of the two blocks as our reference, we say that the bigger block is displaced with a displacement y sub 1 equal to negative 0.200 meters. All right, the negative is understood to be relative to the initial position or reference level. All right, so in question letter A, we are looking for the change in the potential or gravitational potential energy of each block. And gravitational potential energy is defined as the product of the mass, acceleration due to gravity, and the change in the displacement, vertical displacement, delta y. All right? So, starting with the bigger block, we have delta PE equals its mass, which is 8.00 kilogram, times 9.8 meters per second squared, and its displacement, which is negative 0.200 meters, right? So when you do our math, we get the delta PE of the bigger block equal to negative 15.7 joules. Take note, the delta PE is negative, which means that relative to its initial gravitational potential energy, which is equal to 0, all right, when our chosen reference is the initial position itself. So this means that at that position, what happens is the potential energy, all right, which is negative. The negative actually means that the potential energy has been decreased by 15.7 joules. All right. Now for the smaller block, its delta PE is equal to its mass, 6.00 kilogram, multiplied by acceleration due to gravity, 9.8 meter per second squared, and its change in displacement or delta y, which happens to be positive 0.200 meters. All right. So doing our math, we get the change in the potential energy of the smaller block equal to 11.8 joules. So it has a positive sign, which means that in the case of the smaller block, all right, it has actually gained gravitational potential energy when it is moved, all right, from the reference level to a height of 0.200 meters. Take note that is relative to the reference point. Question letter B requires us to find the work done by the rope on each block if the tension in the rope is equal to capital T. So this work done, denoted here by capital W sub T, is just equal to the product of the tension force, capital T, and the distance or displacement, delta Y. All right? So, on the 8.00 kilogram block, the work done by the rope is equal to the tension force, capital T, multiplied by its displacement, delta Y, equal to 0.200 meters. All right? And for the smaller block, the work done by the rope, all right, is also equal to the product of the tension force, capital T, multiplied by its displacement, which is positive 0.200 meters. And moving on to question letter C. All right. So question letter C requires us to determine the total work done by the rope. So what we do here is simply to add the two values of the work done by the rope on the bigger block and on the smaller block. So the work done on the bigger block is capital T multiplied by negative 0.200 meters. Then we add the work done by the rope on the smaller block, which is capital T multiplied by positive 0.200 meters. And of course, when these two amounts of work are added, all right, algebraically, that is, then we will get the total work done by the rope on the two blocks being equal to 0. Likewise, we also want to find the change in the gravitational potential energy associated with the system. And by definition, this delta PE of each block is just equal to the work done by the force of gravity, right? And that is simply equal to mg delta y. So for the larger mass, delta PE sub 1 is equal to 8.00 kilogram multiplied by 9.80 meters per second squared and negative 0.200 meters. All right, doing our math, we get delta PE sub 1 equal to negative 15.7 joules. All right, again, it is negative, all right, because we are using our chosen reference level. So with respect to the chosen reference level, all right, the change in the potential energy or gravitational potential energy of the bigger block is negative 15.7 joules. So similarly, for the smaller block, that is delta PE sub 2 equal to 6.00 kilogram times 9.80 meters per second squared, and the delta Y, which is positive 0.200 meters. So again, doing our math, we get the value of the delta PE sub 2 equal to 11.8 joules. This is with respect to the reference level. And therefore, the total delta PE of the system, all right, is just the algebraic sum of the two delta PE sub 1 and delta PE sub 2. That means 11.8 joules plus negative 15.7 joules. So we get as our delta PE of the system, delta PE sub T, all right, equal to negative 3.90 joules, again, with respect to the reference level. Last but not the least, we are asked to find the speed of the 8.00 kilogram block after it has descended 0.200 meters, all right, below the initial position. So, still applying the energy conservation law, K max equals P max, where the gravitational potential energy maximum, all right, has been determined to be equal to negative 3.90 joules, all right? And this is, of course, equal to the maximum kinetic energy, all right, whose formula is 1/2 the total mass or the combined mass of the two blocks multiplied by the square of the unknown speed v, right? So when we isolate this unknown variable v, we get the formula, all right? Speed b is just equal to the square root, all right, of twice the value of the P max, all right, or the K max. Hence, it is already considered positive, all right, and then divide this by the total mass of the two blocks, 14.00 kilogram. So finally, doing our math, we arrive at the value of the speed of the system, all right, 0.746 meters per second. All right, we say that this is the speed of the system, all right, because both blocks will have the same value of this speed, all right. The 8.00 kilogram block acquires this speed when it has been displaced a downward displacement equal to negative 0.200 meters, all right? While at the same time, because the two blocks are connected by the rope, then it follows that the smaller block, or the 6.00 kilogram block, all right, is also displaced, but in the upward direction. So at this point, the smaller block also has a speed, instantaneous speed equal to 0.746 meters per second. The 8.00 kilogram block has the same speed, 0.746 meters per second, all right? But in terms of their direction of motion, the bigger mass is moving downwards, while the smaller block is moving upward. So that concludes our video lesson for this topic. Till the next episode, mabuhay, mashallah. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Alhamdulillah. Please follow me in my FB page, Watch and Learn. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.